Welcome back, creators. Today I'm going to show you how I made these set of sharpening blocks, and the best part is they cost under $10. Now a lot of times you can spend $50 to over $200 on a set of sharpening stones, but I'm not only going to show you how I made these, I'm also going to show you how I used them. Now this will get your knives ridiculously stupid sharp. So you need to be careful, you need to have an idea of what you're doing. So, let's get to it. For this project, you're going to need 3 2x4s, 2 of them about the same size as the sandpaper you're going to use. In this case, it's going to be 800 and 1000 grit, wet dry automotive sandpaper. We're going to need a belt, an old used belt. It has to be leather. We're also going to need some Gorilla Glue. Then finally, we're going to need some buffing compound for metal, or you can actually buy the stuff for sharpening knives. They both work just as good. But the buffing compound is half the price. So I'm going to start off mixing up some Gorilla Glue. Then I'm going to apply it to a 2x4. Then I'm going to sandwich the sandpaper on top with a piece of cloth and a weight, and then wait for it to cure. Now that we got one done, we just repeat the process for the other piece of sandpaper. Now I've marked this 2x4 for about the width of the belt, so that way I can keep the belt on the edge. That's very important. Now I'm just going to apply glue to that part of it. And now we're going to put the belt on, and in the same way we're going to apply weight and wait for it to cure. Now that the belt's cured, I'm going to hit it with a file, and this is going to take and smoothen out any imperfections in the belt, and it's also going to help make sure that it's flush and true. So now I'm going to apply some buffing compound to the strop. Here we are at my whiteboard, aka my fridge, because I want to talk a little bit about the profile of a knife. So for most knives, you're going to have a parallel body to it. Parallel. Come on. And then on the sharp part, you're going to have a certain angle. Now the reason why this is important is because when we go to sharpen with a sharpening stone, we want to be consistently right on that edge. However, when we move over to the strop, we actually want to go at a slight different angle. And the reason for this is the strap is a softer material, so it's actually going to bend. And we don't want it curling up and taking off our edge. We want it to curl and follow that edge to get it as sharp as possible. So the most important part here is to make sure that you follow that edge that we talked about earlier. Consistency is going to be the key to getting a really sharp knife. Now you want to do this approximately the same amount on each side, and depending how dull your knife is, you may need to do this more or less. It is a little bit of a learning curve. So this process is going to repeat for the 1000 grit sandpaper, and then we're going to move on to the strop. Like I mentioned earlier with the strop, you're not going to want to follow that same edge. You're going to want to drop it down, and you're basically going to be polishing this edge. As you can see here, I've been already polishing this edge so that way you could see the area that I'm trying to hit. So I'm trying to hit this crest. For this, I recommend doing this more like 40 times or more. The more you run it over the strop, the sharper of an edge you're going to get. So I only spent probably 15 minutes actually sharpening these knives, and you can see where it's at right now. So now that I got a little sharper, I got a piece of newspaper here. Not sure why everybody likes a paper test, but let's see how it does. All right, I would say that's good and sharp. Well, there you are, creators. Now you know how to make a ridiculously sharp knife for only a few dollars. Support this channel in any way you can, and can't wait to see you next time. It takes a few tries, all right? I still don't know why you're dressed as a penguin. If I use that video, everybody's gonna think I'm insane unless they actually see that you are dressed up as a penguin.